Congratulations on the purchase of your new Shaq Hoop Shot Cyber Arcade. You're almost ready for endless hours of fun. But first, you need to assemble your arcade. Start by taking the assembly instruction manual out of the box. Then check all contents to be sure that all parts listed on pages 3 and 4 are included. If you discover that any parts are missing, please email us at service@trygreatusa.com. That's service@trygreatusa.com. Before starting to assemble your arcade, please read through the instructions to familiarize yourself with all parts and assembly steps. Also, take note, 2 adults are required for assembly of the Shaq Cyber Hoop Arcade. This product must be assembled by adults. Also take note, the box contains many small parts which can create a choking hazard, so please keep small children away from the assembly area. Once you've determined that you have all the parts, you're ready to get started. Begin by checking the functionality of the Smart Scoreboard. Part 26. Insert 3 fresh AA batteries. Do not mix alkaline, standard, or rechargeable batteries. Connect the score contactors with the Smart Scoreboard by inserting a contactor to each side. Test the traditional arcade function by switching the button to the down position. You will see a red light come on. Press the score contactors to ensure the Smart Scoreboard is functioning. Next, switch the button to the up position. A blue light will flash. This means the Bluetooth function is working. Once you've tested these functions to ensure they are properly working, unplug the score contactors from the Smart Scoreboard and begin assembly of your arcade. As shown in Figure 1 of the instruction manual, the next step is to attach the Smart Scoreboard to the backboard. You'll need Part 22, the L-shaped tool, Part 25, the backboard, Part 26, the Smart Scoreboard, and the 4 screws noted in A1 on page 4. Sit the backboard upright. Insert the white faceplate of the Smart Scoreboard on the front of the cutout in the lower center. Then insert the black Smart Scoreboard processor to the back. Insert the 4 screws. Hand tighten each, then secure with the L-shaped tool, making sure that each screw is locked tightly. Now it's time to attach the hoops to the backboard as shown in Figure 2. You'll need Part 16, 2 metal basketball hoops, Part 21, 2 support plates, Part 2, the L-shaped tool, and 23, a spanner wrench. You'll also need the 8 screws plus washers and nuts noted in A2. With the backboard remaining upright, insert one of the metal hoops on the front by inserting 4 screws toward the back. Then attach the washers and nuts. Use the L-shaped tool and the spanner to make sure the screws are locked tightly. Once you have one side firmly installed, repeat the process on the other side. When complete, the backboard should look like this. As Figure 3 shows, you'll now attach the score contactors. You'll need the same tools used in Figure 2 and 8 more sets of the screws, washers, and nuts in drawing A2. First, fish the wire through the opening at the back of the hoop. Then, insert 4 screws through the front toward the back. As in Figure 2, attach the washers and nuts and use the tools to securely tighten to the support plate. Repeat this process on the other side, making sure the screws are locked tightly. Now connect the score contactors with the Smart Scoreboard. Simply plug in each side as you did earlier during the functionality test. In Figure 5, you'll attach the basketball nets to the 2 hoops. The nets are Part 17. Loop the net over the hooked extensions around the hoop, then pull up to firmly secure the net. Be sure you don't miss a loop or a hook. Once you are finished with one side, repeat the process on the other. When complete, your backboard and hoops should now look like this. On to Figure 6, where you'll start attaching the frame of your arcade to the already assembled backboard. You'll need the 2 pieces labeled Part 1, the curved metal frame, along with your tightening tools and 2 sets of screws, washers, and nuts noted in A3. Place one of the curved metal frame tubes on the back with the top of the tube extending over the top of the backboard. Insert a long screw through one of the holes on the upper portion of the backboard and attach the washers and nuts and securely tighten. Repeat this process on the other side. When finished, your arcade should now look like this. In Figure 7, you'll continue assembly of the metal frame. Take frame parts 3 and 4, which have 2 pieces each, along with part 12, a single metal frame. You'll also need the 2 screws with washers noted in A4. Insert the end of frame part 4 into the bracket on frame part 3. Insert the screw through the bracket and attach it to the long thin rod, part 12. Repeat the process on the other side. Make sure the screws are locked tightly. The frame portion you just assembled should look like this. Assembly of the frame continues in Figure 8. You'll need 2 part 2 long metal rods, 1 curved part 5, and 1 curved part 6. Insert the 2 rods, parts 2, into parts 3 and secure by snapping the button into place. Now insert part 5 onto part 4 on the left side of the frame. Then do the same with part 6 on the right side. No parts are needed for Figure 9. Simply take the assembled backboard and slide the frame parts 1 onto frame parts 2 and secure. Your assembly should now look like this. In Figure 10, you'll need the 2 parts in number 9 which have bracketed ends. Be sure to unlock the brackets before moving to the next step. Do this by simply pulling down and twisting. Figure 11 requires 2 part 9 pieces, 1 number 10, 1 number 11, your tightening tools, and 2 sets of screws, washers, and nuts noted in A5. Connect tube 9 and tube 10, tube 9 and tube 11 at the same direction mark and ensure the arrows are facing each other. Insert the screws, washers, and nuts and securely tighten both sides. Then turn and pull the brackets on each side to ensure they are in place. Following along in your manual, Figure 12 will require frame parts 7 and 8, which have 2 pieces each. Insert tube 7 and the ends of tube 9 on both sides. Then add the smaller curved part 8 onto part 7 on both sides. The frame portion you just assembled should look like this. The next step, 13, is the attachment of the net sleeve, part 24, to the frame. Insert the curved portion of the frame extending forward above the backboard into the opening on the top portion of the net. Then attach the Velcro straps securely around the frame to hold the net sleeve in place. Now you will secure the back portion of the net sleeve to the frame. You'll need the L tool and spanner along with part A3, bolts, washers, and nuts. First, remove the nut on one side of the backboard supports. Slide the hole in the flap of the net sleeve over the protruding bolt. Then reattach the nut and tighten the bolt using the L tool and spanner. Repeat the process on the other side. It's now time to attach the rest of the frame that you've already assembled. Look at Figure 15 and find parts 12 and 15 and the bolts and washers in A4. Position the smartphone holder on the outside. Insert a bolt and washers through the hole on the backboard stand and through the flat end of the frame. Now attach the metal tube, part 12, by screwing it onto the bolt. Be sure it is in front of the net sleeve. Completely tighten one side of this tube before attaching the other side. Doing so will make it easier to place the tube and tighten. Be sure both sides are secure. Figure 16 shows how your arcade should look at this stage. Note that part 15, the smartphone holder, is movable. Fold it down when you want to place a smartphone in it. Fold it up when you don't use it. You will now attach the front of the net sleeve to the frame as shown in Figure 17. You'll need part 13 and the bolts, washers, and nuts in A6. Slide tube 13 through the net sleeve 24. Push the sleeve back and connect tube 5 with tube 13. Then place tube 8 under both tubes and insert the screws, washers, and nuts. Tighten securely with the L tool and spanner. You're almost finished. Look at Figure 18, which shows how you will complete assembly. You'll need metal tube part 14, 2 bolts and washers shown in A4, and the L tool. Position the metal tube across the bottom of the net sleeve and align with the hole on the frame on one side. Insert the bolt and washers and securely tighten. Repeat this step on the other side, assuring that the screws are tight. Now wrap the Velcro straps around the frame at the bottom of the net sleeve. Make sure the net sleeve is taut, with no slack. This will ensure that the basketballs can easily roll back to the shooters. Now do the same with the straps near the backboard, making sure they are secured tightly. Check to be sure the arcade stand is stable before playing. If not, please adjust the tightness of the ramp to improve stability. Go to the back of the scoreboard and switch the button to the up position. The blue light will flash. On your smartphone, go to the App Store or Google Play and download the Hoop Shot online app. Create an account by entering your personal information and the serial number on the front of your assembly instruction manual. Once you've completed the process and have established an account, you're ready to log in and play against anyone, anywhere in the world. You can place your smartphone in the pocket on the front or in the holder on the side. When using the holder, be sure your phone is secure. To play against players anywhere in the world, be sure to shoot on the left side. Switch the button on the scoreboard to the down position and the light will become red. You're now ready to play the traditional arcade game against another player in the room with you. Refer to the instruction manual for additional information and note the handy series of questions and answers at the back of the manual to help troubleshoot problems. When you're finished playing, your Shaq Hoop Shot arcade is easy to fold and store. As shown in Figure 20, lift up the tubes on the side and pull down the lock and turn to release. Now simply fold the frame forward toward the backboard. Secure in place by pulling the lock and turning it to relock. Your arcade is now out of the way until you're ready to enjoy it again. One last thing. Be sure to keep the instruction manual. That's because the model number and the serial number for your Shaq Hoop Shot Cyber Arcade are on the front. You will need these numbers in the event you ever need to contact us with questions about operation or to acquire parts.